Welcome. I build worlds for a living, but I don't build them alone.
I'm Jeannie, the first reader and the partner who keeps the real world running.
I'm J.E. Sutton Jr. This is the co-authored life.
A look at the stories we share and the life we're building together. Wow, what a weekend!
Was very momentous weekend. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, not so much Saturday, but everything pretty much fell onto Sunday.
That's true. I don't even remember what we did Saturday now.
Laundry.
No, yeah, laundry. There you go.
That's what we do.
That's,
Laundry.
that's glamorous. That's very glamorous.
Well, yeah, exactly. So we were fortunate enough to have a friend who also wrote a book.
That's true. It is The Cat in the Woods by Amber Sherrill.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying, especially the dinner party scene. You want to make sure that you're in a safe place when you read that scene.
So our friend Amber set up a little table at a local coffee shop called the Tetherball Coffee Shop. Tetherball Coffee. Sorry, Tetherball. Um, we'll put a link. I'm sure they have Insta or something. Anyway, she set up a table and had books and some, what are those things called, Jerry? Bookmarks and
Bookmarks,
stickers.
yeah, stickers.
Yeah. And she was selling, of course, author signed copies, which we got because that's who we are now. Yay. So we will definitely put a link in.
The description
Thank you. I don't
to
know
let
what
you know
is wrong with me today.
where you can get the book on Amazon. And definitely, Amber, like myself, is a first time author. It's very good book though, um, and we were honored to be one of the first people who were able to read it. And I suggest that you get a copy, even if you're not a huge fan of the horror genre. I think it's an excellent book. So, and right now we've been working with her constantly, including on Sunday at the book signing, to get her to write another book because she's not sure that she has another book in her. It took her 5 years to write this one, but I think she's a natural at it. And I think
Yeah.
she should find another story and go with that and just write. And so we're committed to helping her out. I hope that you'll pick up a copy of the book because it's very good and support her and other independent authors.
Yes, I hope we can highlight more authors. If you're in the Jacksonville area and you have a book signing, please, I don't know, let us know
Yeah,
and we will come. We will support you. That's what we want for Jerry's
yeah.
book. We have a pop up coming up. Sorry, I probably like totally blew your script on how today was going to go,
I,
but we are going to have a pop up in March. But I'm sure we'll talk more about that in a later episode. Sorry, Jerry.
nope, nope. I really didn't have a script for that, but yes, we do have a pop up coming. But yeah, if you have a pop up locally or even in the general North to Central Florida area, let us know. We'll help you publicize it. We'll use our social media as modest as it is to help get the word out because I think it's very important to support independent authors, authors who are self-publishing and are doing all the work themselves. They do a lot of things that the average reader has no even inkling about that it's even happening. From
Yes, it is
writing,
hard, hard, hard work.
yeah, from writing to editing to marketing, it's just constant, and you learn something new about the process in the industry every day. So anything that we can do to help support independent authors, we'll do. So,
Yeah.
and congratulations to Amber on her first book signing. I understand she did very well. We were only there for about an hour. She had already sold half of the books that she had taken with her, and that's very good. So there was a lot of
And
traffic, a lot of buzz.
lots of traffic. And people brought her fan art for her book.
That's right. They bought her fan art. So of course you can see from the book that there's a little cat on the book, right? That's very, very important to the plot. And so she had a fan who brought her a crocheted version of the cat, 2 of them
So
actually.
so not only did she write this book, she is also becoming quite the watercolor artist,
Right.
and she designed and painted the book cover.
Yep. This is
And
her.
we're looking at her to maybe help us out in the future because
Yeah, I've asked her to take a look at a future book that I'm currently writing and to see if she can come up with a cover design. I'd love to feature one of her designs on the book. So we'll see how that goes. But again, all in the spirit of supporting fellow independent authors and folks who are just trying to bring their stories to the world. It's not about the money. We don't mind getting paid, obviously, for our efforts, but it's really about telling the stories that we've had inside us that we want to tell, and that's exactly what happened with Amber. The story, um, somewhat, some of it is autobiographical, not the horror aspects of it, but just the sort of everyday life aspects of it. And it was written. The She started writing it during the pandemic, so it was sort of born out of that uncertainty and fear that was going through our communities during that time. And so that comes out in the book, and she used that to drive the plot. So it's absolutely, they always talk about, and Amber and I talked about this yesterday, they tell you as an author to write what you know. And many times people misunderstand that to say that you can't write about anything that you haven't done or haven't seen, but that's not what they really mean. They mean that emotionally and structurally, you need to write stories that you can relate to, that are about things that you feel and you understand. And so you can research, things like how a gun range operates and what it feels and smells like to be there. But you have to be able to write about relationships and um, scenarios that will sound authentic, and you can't do that if it's not from the heart. So this book really did that for her, and that's kind of the same thing that's driving my novels is my history in both the insurance and the technology industries, especially technology.
awkward. I could never do that because my head is a constant squirrel moment. Oh my gosh, speaking of squirrels, the Olympic squirrel,
I saw that video. I didn't actually believe that video was real.
I
In
think it's real.
in the days of AI generated video, I really thought that video was fake, but the more I see it and the more it seems to be reported, it seems to be that it's real, where a squirrel wandered on to the course at the Winter Olympics during what event was that? Was it
It was the one we were watching, the double slalom snowboarding.
well, I know nothing about Winter Olympics, so I didn't know what that was called. I did know it was a snowboard, but I didn't know what it was called. The slalom part I didn't know. But yeah, wandered onto the course right as they were going down the hill, managed to stop and flip itself out of the way and not get hit. But it was quite dramatic. The didn't appear that the snowboarder was affected by it, but
No, they
that was
won.
they they, they still won.
They
So
won their heat.
that was pretty
Yeah.
fun. So
So, of course, I've been watching the Olympics because that's what you do. That's what we used to do. We would wake up and the Olympics would be on. And I don't
yeah,
know. I
before
didn't know skeet shooting was cross country shooting, hit a target, keep skiing, whatever. So that's part of what we did yesterday. But we also did the Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl, yes,
Um, and I don't know if you noticed yesterday, but I was taking notes on these ads because they're
I
not as
did.
good as they used to be.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't. I thought there were very few really good ads this year. Usually, I mean, that's to be honest with you, I like football. I love watching the game, but the big part of the spectacle of the Super Bowl, besides halftime, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is about the ads. And this
Right.
year, there just weren't that many that I thought were very good. There were a lot of I thought, weak ads and very silly ads, and there were some that I just thought weren't in very good taste. Um, but I'm sure that you have some notes, and we'll talk about some of those.
I do. So let's talk about the very first one that was before the game. It was the Manscaped ad with the
Oh,
singing whiskers and no, 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 no. Nobody needs that.
I don't. I get. I guess I get what they're trying to do there. They're trying to make uh, they were trying to tap into that sort of
What?
sense of loss that you feel when you're shaving, sort of all that going away. But
No.
it was creepy. It was
Do
just a
you
little
sit there
disgusting.
when you're trimming your beard? Do you look down at the whiskers in the bowl and go, "Oh
No,
no"?
no, but you do notice them, and you notice the
Of
volume,
course.
and so when you have a beard and you shave, right? You do look down and you sort of gauge based on how much hair there is, how long it's been since you shaved last. You do think about it. It's not something that you certainly don't want the hair
Okay.
talking to you.
No. Exactly. Of course, the Jason Kelsey, Kylie Kelsey
That
YouTube meh is
that that
golden.
that's a fantastic ad, but
Yeah.
it's hard to go wrong with Jason and especially Kylie Kelsey. They're fantastic spokespeople.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there's anything they can't do.
No. She's going to be, speaking of Olympics, she's like going to cover some of the curling.
Wow, I'm sure she'll do fantastic. She's an athlete. Um,
Field
uh,
hockey, right?
yeah, field hockey. She's is a field
Apparently
hockey
tall.
athlete and does coaching. Yeah,
She's
yeah,
tall,
she is very
which,
tall.
is a goal for me.
Yeah, me too. But not doing very well getting there.
No. Well, you're
Maybe
closer
one
than
day.
I am.
Yeah, not by much.
Um Everything else was kind of there. The liquid death exploding head thing, just
I didn't. That yeah. I
yeah.
no.
The um T-Mobile Backstreet Boys, was it Backstreet Boys? NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, one of them. I don't know.
I don't
Sorry.
remember.
Sorry to those who are boy band fans. That was kind of cute. Um Levi's was a lot of butt.
Well, I get what they're doing with that ad. That's kind of
I do
a
too.
takeoff on the
It was a lot
Sweeney
of butt,
ad.
but it was
Yeah,
cute.
yeah. It was okay.
Um the
It was
other
it was it was tongue in cheek, so to speak.
the other ones that I have noted, I mean, I noted pretty much all of them, but mostly it's like, yeah, yeah, typical, duh. Um, the liquid IV toilet singing, no.
But
Yes,
yeah, no. Oh
yes,
no.
people, be aware of the color of your urine.
Yeah, but don't take medical advice about that from TV ads. If you have
From
concerns,
singing
speak to a
toilets,
doctor. Yes, no, don't do that. No.
we don't need that. Um, a lot of people, well, I know you were like with the karaoke thingy with the Coinbase ad.
Um, I honestly, that ad felt to me like they spent so much money on the placement of the ad that they couldn't afford to actually do an ad because it's just words on the screen. I get what they're going for, but it seems very low tech to me, and it seems like they couldn't afford to do a better advertisement.
Okay, so since last night, TikTok and I'm sure Reels are full of people singing to that. So that's fun.
Yes, I don't, I don't, I really I just thought it seemed low budget for a
Okay,
Super
so
Bowl ad.
that's all I have to say about the um ads. They weren't, what, Apple?
So
Wasn't it Apple who did their big throw the phone at the wall,
I don't
woman
remember that
running?
one. I don't remember that one. But here's the one I remember, and the one I thought you were going to bring up, and I wanted to talk about because I just felt it was horrible, and that is the whole. And I don't know who the I don't even remember what the ad is for, but it's the one where they're doing the whole throwback with all the old TV
Okay.
stars and the.
It was
Dunkin',
Dunkin'.
that's right, Dunkin' Donuts. I thought that commercial was horrible. I felt that it was creepy, and I get the whole technology, the old de-aging technology has been all the rage, but putting it all there in once just felt, I don't know, it just felt wrong to me.
Yeah.
I just
Oh my
felt
gosh, how many people can we
uncomfortable during that
cram into
whole.
this?
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah, it was more and more and more, and I get what they're trying to do, but to me, it just felt, I was uncomfortable during that ad. It just felt wrong to me. And I'm not obviously not an anti-technology guy, but I think they could have done that better if they had just done one or two, right? Or if they had done it in a different way. But I just felt it was just too much. It was
Yeah.
so, we had this conversation years ago when Lucasfilm added Peter Cushing into Rogue One, right? A couple of seconds on screen was
Right.
okay, but the more you saw it, the more uncomfortable you got because the more obvious it was that it was fake. And so that's what I think I felt during that commercial, is that it just didn't feel real. It was obviously manipulated. And to me, the you can't do that for a very long period of time. It wouldn't a 10-second ad might have worked, but a 30-second ad just does not work in that. So that was the one that I had hoped you were going to bring up. Other than that, I can't remember
Well,
really any other ads.
I was gonna bring it up, but I I didn't hate it. I thought, oh well, that's kind of fun. They have all of these people from different TV shows and da 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 da, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, it was a little much.
I'd have been happier if they had done that with the.
Like split them up into little scenes
Maybe
instead
if they
of
had done multiple commercials, that would have worked for me, and if they had done it without all the de-aging stuff, just had them their regular age and have us thinking about their, previous age, that might have worked too, but, having a 30-second ad with all that technology on it, to me, I started to focus on the technology and not on the ad itself, and I thought that it just made me feel like
right.
this ad is just not, it's not very good, so.
Okay, so that's enough about the ads. Let's talk about the actual game. Um 12 nothing till the fourth quarter?
uh
Wow.
Well, I'm not surprised because Seattle only averaged
And
giving
you
up 17 points a game.
Yeah, you
Um,
had said to me before we sat down to watch it, you said this is going to be a low scoring game and it's probably going to be pretty boring and it's going to be a lot of defense. And sure enough, that's
yeah,
exactly what it was.
yeah.
But
It's
there were so many almost moments.
Yeah, that's a good point because in a low scoring game like it was, where the New England Patriots basically didn't even get onto the Seattle side of the ball until after halftime, until late in the third quarter, you would think it would have been boring, but there were so many explosive plays, almost catches, almost breaking it. There were so many great defensive plays that it really wasn't boring in a sense of I want to wander off and not watch this. It was though fairly predictable. I felt going into the game that Seattle was probably really overmatched against um, New England this year, and New England had a very good season. I don't want to fall into the cliche of saying that they had a soft schedule, because I think they played some really good teams and they did really well. But in the playoffs, they were plagued by some mistakes that they continued in the Super Bowl, and there was no way they were going to beat the Seattle Seahawks with those mistakes. Giving up sacks, turning the ball over, making poor decisions, which they did. Um, in the Super Bowl. They had done this throughout the postseason, and that was not going. They were not going to win against a team as good as the Seahawks
Right.
with any mistakes like that. So I really wasn't surprised by the result. I was a little surprised that it didn't get they didn't get really any offense at all until almost the end of the game.
And I
But
think at that point, it just seemed like to me that the Seahawks were like, it's all right. We already have it in the bag. But maybe I was just kind of ready for it to be over. So, did you know that there was and I don't know if this is true, that there was a streaker?
yeah, I did hear that. I didn't They didn't show it, of course, but they did at one point. The game was paused while security took care of a fan on the field.
They like I have you seen that video? They, like,
I have not.
tackle him, like,
I have not.
tackled him.
I have not seen it,
And
but
one of the I wanna say it was a New England person was, like, chasing him. It was crazy.
yeah, that happens. The football stopped showing them. The network stopped showing them years ago because they didn't want to give them attention. So that's why you don't see it on the TV anymore. They don't like to talk about it that much. They just sort of say, "Oh, we're taking care of a security situation," and then they pause and they talk over it for a while, usually showing the teams, which is what they did. They kept the
Right.
camera off of the end zone
This would be a
while that was
good
happening.
time to insert a plug for why you should buy season tickets to your local NFL team so you
There
could
you
see
go.
the
You
streakers.
can get you could see the streaker in person. The I'm not sure that's usually, much more entertaining
No.
than seeing it,
I
than
don't I'm trying to remember of all our I mean, I remember a couple at a game, but I don't really remember a lot of
I don't
streakers.
remember it happening locally as much. I've
No.
seen it. I've seen it, but it's not usually doesn't usually happen in Jacksonville. The fans of Jacksonville can get rowdy. There have been some incidents in the stands between the fans and potential interactions with opposing players, a number of them over the
Yeah.
years, but not usually player fans running on the field. And generally, the security at Everbank Stadium is good enough that you can't really get onto the field itself. If you
Right.
crossed onto the playing surface, you would be immediately stopped because they have lots of security on the field. So generally, that has not been a problem, but in other places it is, um, and people just like attention. So
Okay. Halftime.
halftime.
My gosh, I just drooled on myself. I hope we
Well,
can
don't
take that out. We probably won't. Oh my goodness.
that could that'll end up being a short. Will
Ugh.
actually.
It won't get cut because, you know, it's life. Anyway, halftime. Bad
Bad
Bunny.
Bunny.
Oh, this is his sign. His name sign, by
Bad
the
Bunny.
way. Bad
Bad
Bunny.
Bunny.
Because
Okay.
he apparently
All right.
does this. And yeah, Bad Bunny. Um, yeah, sorry. Just put it out there. I thought it was great. I thought it was visually and just I thought it was joyous and uplifting and
So I understood when I watching it. I understood that some people were a little uncomfortable because they couldn't understand the words. I do get that. Um, but I think in those cases, you just sort of have to let the the
imagery.
show sort of happen and pick and get what you can out of it. I mean, the same way you would if most people don't speak Italian, they go to the opera. They just
Oh my
sort of
gosh, you were thinking exactly what I
right,
was gonna say.
right.
You
So
go to the
so in
opera, you don't know.
you don't know what they're saying unless you speak Italian, and most people don't. But what you do is you get clues from what's going on. They're telling a story, and you're following along. And
Right.
I thought that um, that this performance did a good job of doing that. First of all, I thought they did a fantastic job of building the island of Puerto Rico in the middle of a football field with all of the cane sugar, uh, um,
Tree people?
tree people, uh, building out structures and having all the dancers and people they had on there. I thought they did a good job on that. I thought they did a good job, sort of giving you visuals and giving you and the music itself is good, even if you don't understand the lyrics. And so I, the problem that we have right now, there's a lot of division in this country. Some of it very irrational and emotional. And I don't no matter what you feel about politics, this is a musical performance on a stage watched by 135 million people. And I think the thing that people need to understand is the purpose of the halftime show for the National Football League is not entertaining the people in the stands at the National Football game, Super Bowl. The purpose of the halftime show is to draw in viewers who don't watch football.
Right.
There, it is designed to bring in a different audience, and in this case, they wanted to capture an entire Latin audience that they are courting. Next year, I just read this. Next year, the NFL will have pri- 9 regular season games in countries outside of the United States. That's a record for them. They are trying to broaden their market, right? They're trying to introduce new people and new cultures to the game, and they're going to outreach to those folks through things like a halftime show, which is exactly what they did. And I think they probably did an excellent job. I think lots of people probably tuned in. There was lots of buzz about it, both positive and negative. But were whether you love the idea or were nervous or hated the idea, a lot of people tuned in to see what it was about, and that's the whole point, right?
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna be just straight honest with you. Last year's Super Bowl performance by Kendrick Lamar, I did not enjoy that performance. It's not music I enjoy. I didn't understand most of it, and so I just sort of watched it, and I was like, I didn't think it was that good. Other people thought it was fantastic, and that's fine. That they they put that show on to attract a particular audience, and that was the point. So it doesn't art doesn't always have to appeal to everybody. And it doesn't always have to appeal to the largest common denominator. There's art for everybody. So if there's art on that you don't particularly enjoy, go get yourself a soda or a beer or another chicken wing or another rib and relax for the 13 minutes that they showed this show and come back and enjoy the football game.
Yeah. Ditto.
There you go. So ultimately, I thought it was a well produced show. I thought it was good. I thought it was tasteful. I love the actual ending. I know that was controversial, but bringing all the countries of the Americas together with their flags and talking about togetherness and love is not a bad thing. That's not a political thing.
No, that's a
If you can put
human thing.
aside right, if you can put aside your politics for a moment, that's actually a good message, and I think that we should acknowledge that, no matter who's giving it. So you can't argue that he's not a rising star. He just won Grammy awards for best
Yeah.
album. Um, he's a very popular artist worldwide, which is exactly what the NFL is looking for. They're not just looking for a U.S. market. That's not the point. People tune into the Super Bowl to watch the Super Bowl. The halftime show is meant to add to that, and that's what they did. So I thought they did a decent job. I think they face difficulty every year because there's such a diverse audience for this game. It's watched worldwide by hundreds of millions of people, and so not everybody is going to like the show every year, no matter who they put on. So they can't put the
Right.
same acts on every year, and they can't just put on shows that just appeal to a subset of even the US market. They have to be a broader appeal. That's their point, and I think they accomplished it. So, I thought it was a good show. I thought there was nothing controversial about it. I thought they pulled it off without any real technical issues, um, and it was well done. So, and apparently there was a real life wedding in the middle of it where,
Yeah.
um, I thought that was fake too, but, apparently it's not. Apparently this couple had reached out to Bad Bunny and asked him to attend their wedding, and instead of doing that, his team invited them to the Super Bowl to uh, get married live in front of 135 million people,
Can
which they
you
did.
can you imagine telling your family that like so the wedding got moved.
It's going to be at
It's
the
going to be
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl Sunday. Okay. That's already a problem because we know there are football fans in all families.
We're going
So
to be
you're
watching the
telling
game,
me that you can't watch the game because we have to go to a wedding. Well, you're going to be in the Super Bowl.
right? Right.
How crazy is that? That's so crazy.
So
It was
so this
great.
so
I
this
loved
couple,
it. I
yeah.
think
So
yeah.
this couple got married in front of this huge audience in the middle of the stadium there in San Francisco, and the star of the show, Bad Bunny, actually signed as a witness on their marriage certificate. That's
Oh,
pretty
really? I didn't
memorable
know
stuff.
that.
Yeah, yeah. That
That's
he did
cool.
during the show. He signed their marriage certificate
That is cool.
as a witness.
I didn't know that, and I
Yep.
didn't read that today. I read that,
So
it was real, but
so
that's so cool. Maybe
yeah,
we can get him
it's
on here.
yeah. Here's an invitation. Bad Bunny can come on and talk to us on the co-authored life. We'd love to talk to him.
I would
Jeannie
really have
promises not to
to.
try to speak Spanish to you.
Yeah, my Spanish is really
What is it?
bad.
Muy poquito? Is that what it said?
Un
Okay.
poquito.
Un
Hablo
poquito.
español un poquito.
No. See,
I'm
I know less than
sure
that.
when people, all of the Spanish listeners are like, "Ugh," right now. Oh, anyway, so yeah,
What did you just say to me?
I said I can't. I speak a little Spanish. Um, I can gesture and sign to you. That would you'd understand.
Some of it.
I'd make sure you understood all of it.
So that's the Super Bowl. We did watch it. We try to watch the Super Bowl every year. I don't. We usually watched most of them in recent years, even when it's been rough years for the Jaguars. This year was a good year for the Jaguars. They didn't quite make it, but we'll watch almost every year. It's a big game, and sometimes we watch just for the commercials. Other times we watch and enjoy the game, depending on who's playing. It was
It was a pretty
nice.
good game. It was a good
It
game. It wasn't the most exciting game. At the end it was, but the ending had been written.
Yeah.
There was just
Well,
some drama.
early in
Not
the fourth
drama.
quarter, early in the fourth quarter there was that surge by the Patriots
Right.
that threatened c- to make the game closer, but then a poor decision um,
Right.
by the quarterback for the Patriots, May. Um, uh,
Jerry could talk about football all night long.
anyway, a poor decision led to the game getting out of hand again, and so it really wrapped up sort of with a whimper instead of a bang. But
We're now changing the name of this podcast to the Co-Coaching Life.
the coach,
I'm
we
kidding.
are not changing it.
I know. It's a lot of football.
What do you want to talk about next?
Um, let's talk about what's going on with your books. Wait, what is that I see over your shoulder?
Over here?
Yeah.
So this actually came today. This is a hardback edition of the Failsafe program, and
I got it.
it is a traditional hardback with a dust cover. So it has a cloth sort of finish to it, and it has the dust cover. So it's a traditional book cover,
Who's that
which
handsome man in there?
some crazy guy. But anyway, so it just came today. My author copies just came today. We got a couple of them. It's available on the web on our website. You can actually buy a copy from England
Really? You've
Spark.
already updated things?
It's been there for a while. It took a while to get my copies of it, but it's been there for a while. But if you
Oh,
go on the website, there's an Ingram Spark hard copy link, and you can get a significantly discount copy. I can't remember what the cost is, but a significant discount for retail, direct from Ingram Spark, and they'll ship it to you. Um, if you like hardbacks, I don't read a lot of hardbacks, but I have to admit, when I got this book today and I opened it up and I felt it in my hands, I'm like, there's something real about this that maybe not true of a Kindle edition or a paperback. Um, so yeah, I you can get this today if you want.
hey, you're an author. You have your own hardback book.
There you go. We also have, I don't know if you noticed, we also have a proof for the Holiday Hustle short story. And this is we printed these. We're getting some printed up. We're gonna give them away at our local when we do our pop up. So if you're gonna go to the pop up, you might get a copy of the Holiday Hustle as well. We also have to also send one to a friend of ours, uh, Jessica, who is was part of the inspiration for um, the Screaming Goat Coffee Company, because she sent me a gift one time with a screaming goat. Um, so we're gonna send that to her as well.
Yeah.
So
Now
yeah, that's
everything is screaming goat.
Screaming Goat. Yes, we have Screaming Goat coffee cups. If you don't have one, you need to go to the website and get one.
Yes. There's now t-shirts, there's a water bottle
Yeah, I don't
because
have a
Jeannie
T-shirt yet.
might
I
want a
need a
new water
T-shirt.
bottle or a
There you
t-shirt.
go.
They're long sleeve. They're really cool.
Ooh,
I might want to get one.
I need to get one of
So
those.
cool. So hardback book, holiday hustle,
Holiday Hustle.
and we're getting closer and closer with
We
the second book, named to be announced later.
Right. So we are getting really, really close. The book's been done for a while. I think I finished it. I had a deadline of finishing it by the end of December, which I met. I actually see that it was done sort of late in December, and then we started the editing process.
Right.
And so we're
So just to review, the editing process for us is Jerry writes it. As he's writing it, he'll send me chapters. I'll do notes, da 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 da. Then he finishes it all and he does a read through, and then I do a read through. And then
we
a
do
read aloud.
we do a read aloud editing, which I would suggest for anybody who has not done that. And the main reason to do the read aloud editing is because reading something in your head silently and saying it out loud are two different processes. And when you say things, you will discover dialogue and sentences that just don't work or just sound weird when they're said aloud. And so you will find errors that you didn't find in just reading the book, because your brain, when
Right.
it is reading quietly to itself, will fix things silently in your head without without saying them, right? So it will fix the word "the" if you transpose the letters. Your brain will just see "the," right, and you'll never see it. But when you read it aloud, it's a different process, and you will get stuck because the word's not right, and you'll stumble over it, or you'll say, "Wait, that's not the right word."
Yeah,
And
we've
so
all
we do a
seen
read
that
aloud,
post where they have like 743 for
right,
the, and that's a whole thing. And
right, and your brain
you
just sort of
like,
translates all that, right,
yeah, so
right.
your brain does that. So yeah, the read aloud is fun. It can be exhausting because
Well, so this past week we did a read aloud session, and unlike most read aloud sessions, we had dinner just before the read aloud session, and we had a little bit of wine. We had two glasses of wine each, actually, and then we sat down after dinner and we said, we're going to just knock out one of these chapters. And so we decided to do that.
next, what the heck?
We felt pretty good. So Jeannie started to read in the read aloud, and when she got to the first piece of dialogue, I realized that she was actually using voices in the dialogue, which she does not usually do. And so I am cracking up, doubling over with the voices she's choosing. And I can't remember all of them, but there was some guy in the book, and she has this gravelly voice that she used. And I am just like, I can't concentrate. It's so funny.
It was oh, I can't give names. Sorry. Yeah, it was the mentor.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so she's doing these voices, and she told me later who was the voice the
Julia Whalen. So I've been listening to audiobooks, and
Julie
Julia
Whalen.
Whalen, I was listening to I, I'm gonna ruin the name. It's The Women by I believe it's Kristen Hanna, and Julia Whalen does the narration, and it's amazing. And she has to do like these women and her mom and the Vietnam vets and all of this, and I'm just like, oh man, I could do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm feeling good. This guy's gonna have a voice like this, and then this other guy had kind of a twang to it, and suddenly I look over and Jerry is cracking up at me. And he goes, What are you doing? And I'm like,
Yeah, I had trouble concentrating on what you were saying because I was focused on the voices
I think
and trying
after
to
the 3rd voice or I tried to do somebody's voice and I was just like, "Whoa, that's not how she sounds at all."
I think you tried to do Stacy. No, it was Layla's
No,
voice.
it was the girl on the, factor on the floor.
Oh,
Wow, see,
oh.
we're giving spoilers here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't wanna give her name away, but I mean, her name's not really a spoiler, but
No, but so because she did not fit that voice at all. I made her all light and airy and na 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 na, and that's not
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah,
that
and I I
character is.
I
She's
I
kind of
felt she was more I felt she's more Rosie the Riveter, sort of
yeah,
thing,
she's probably
more of
more
a
my
working
normal voice
blue
than
collar woman. Yeah. So it didn't really fit with what I felt. There were a couple of places where I'm like, I don't know if I would choose that. But you know what it did? It made me appreciate voice actors who do audiobooks. It's not an easy thing to do. And I know people have asked me about audiobooks. The real answer to why we haven't done one is because they're very expensive to produce. Can be several $1,000s for your average novel.
because I want Julia Whalen to do
Yeah.
all of the female
But
voices.
a good voice actor who does audiobooks does different voices for each of the characters, and they keep it all
Yeah,
straight, and it all sounds really, really amazing. Now, the one downside to that is that if their choice for a voice doesn't match yours, just like
right.
Jeannie's didn't
In
match,
your head.
it will totally screw with you for the entire book. I had an audiobook that I listened to years ago, which was based on an Earl Stanley Gardner novel, Perry Mason novel. And their choice of voices for the detective Paul in that story completely, completely the wrong voice for me. And I could not even finish the audiobook because it was so jarring every time I heard his voice. I'm like, that's not what I think he sounds like. It's not what he sounded like on TV. It's not what he sounds like in my head when I'm reading it. So I think it can be good and bad, but it gives you if you've ever tried to do one, and I've tried a couple of times to maybe get started on doing an audiobook in my own voice for the failsafe program. It is a lot of work, and it's not as easy as it maybe sounds. There's a lot of planning and logistics to
Yeah.
go into it.
Yeah,
So
we don't even have a closet to set up a
no, we don't
studio
have the
in.
right acoustics for that, but or the right equipment to do it. But so one day I do hope to have audiobooks for my books, but that's going to have to wait until we have a larger audience. So if you want audiobooks, buy copies of the books and help us promote the book, and then we'll see where that goes from there.
Yeah. Or if you know Julia Whalen and she wants to do
And
something pro
or
bono,
maybe
by all means.
maybe Bad Bunny could narrate the book.
Yeah, I don't think he can really pull off Alan though.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know. I
know.
don't see Alan as a
As a
Spanish speaking,
No, that's a good question.
but you
We
know,
never actually talked in
then
the books
we're
about that.
talking about the whole Hamilton thing if you're going to go that route. Does it really
Yeah.
matter? No, it
That's
doesn't.
a good that's a different medium,
Well,
excuse me. It's a different medium, but yeah, I agree. It's not necessarily important. And would Alan work if he were Latino?
yes.
Absolutely. He would.
Yes.
Not he's not written with any specific ethnic origin in mind.
No. No, he's just a boy from Jacksonville.
Yep. He's a boy from Jacksonville with uh, a little bit of technology background and a
A
penchant for
whole
getting
lot of
himself into
oomph.
trouble. A lot of oomph. Yeah,
Sorry, that just sounded like a little bit of technology and a whole lot of oomph.
a lot of oomph.
No, I don't know. Oomph is the wrong thing. He's just got, I don't know. I love your characters.
Well, so that's where we're at with the second book, which we are still planning to release in mid-April.
Yeah, we're about a third of the way through the read aloud. Is that about right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. On pace to finish it by the end of February. and
Yes.
then it will go to our advanced readers in March, early March, and then we'll start to finalize it for production in March.
Hold up there.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's something we got forgot.
So you're talking about advanced readers.
Yep.
We need you. We
Yes.
need people who have read the Failsafe program and absolutely love Alan and Stacy and Layla and everybody else to join Layla's Legion.
Yep.
And
So
we
let's talk a
will,
little bit about Layla's Legion.
yeah, let's do that.
So Layla's Legion, this is actually a play on a very old trope in literary fiction, especially mystery detective fiction. If you've ever heard of the Baker Street Irregulars, which were in the Sherlock Holmes book, which were a network of street urchins that could go where other people couldn't go and could get information that they couldn't get. If you read George R. Martin's Game of Thrones books, and you know about the little birds, which
Yes.
are the network of spies throughout the empire. There are tons of
I
other
didn't even
examples of
think
that.
about that. I didn't even think about
That's the same trope.
the
It's
little
the same trope.
birds.
But anyway, the concept Ladle's Legion is a group of folks who are dedicated to the Alan Harrison and Layla novels, and they'd like to be part of the release. And so, if you join Layla's Legion, here's what you get. You get invited to a private group. We will share the book title and the synopsis of the book with you coming up pretty soon, probably by the end of February. We will give you advance um, look at several cover options that we're looking at and give you a voice in selecting which one.
Right.
And we will give you previews and assets to use in social media to promote the book as it gets closer to release. So it's really an insiders club, and we really hope that we get some folks to join. Be happy for you to join. And if you want to join, go to the website, jesuttonjr.com. There's a link at the top, Layla's Legion. Click on it. You can fill out a short form, and we'll get you into the Layla's Legion. And do that very very soon though, because we're going to be starting to send out information about the next book coming up very very soon.
It's it's good. It's good. I've read it a couple times. It's good. I'm reading it now. Not
So,
always with wine.
not,
Sometimes with wine.
although it doesn't hurt if you like a little wine or a little maybe a little bourbon, Alan would probably
Plenty.
select the bourbon. Um, have a drink and then settle in with a good book. So I'm looking at the clock here, and it occurs to me that it's that time again, where I get to say, every story has its end, but our process is just beginning.
Thanks for joining us behind the scenes of the co-authored life.
I'm J.E. Sutton Jr.
And I'm Jeannie. To see what we're currently working on, visit jesuttonjr.com. We'll see you in the next chapter.